Welcome back to the Type 81. This is the first shots. Now, before I go any further, I really want to make clear because it seems like the first video I made on this was not clear. I have not fully reviewed this gun yet. The first video was just an overview talking about the gun in general, what it is. Not do I think it's good, do I recommend it. That will come with the 1,000-round review. This is the first shots. The first shots is initial impressions, things that I noticed when I first took it out that I will be keeping an eye on for the full review. Now, these first shots are very important because in this instance, there was a major problem that was detected. Now, I didn't figure it out until after I got back, but it has to do with this. And that is not something that would be suitable in a 1,000-round review because it would take up too much time. So, without further ado, I'll get into it. I will talk about the problem with this mount, and then I'll put over some shooting footage so you can see exactly what's happening. Now, this rifle uses a mount very specifically for this Russian optic. Now, the mount also happens to work with this Type 81 mount. And now this is not some AK mount that just randomly works on this. This is designed for the Type 81, specifically the fixed stock and the foldable stock assault rifle versions. However, this one works with the mount. All you have to do is tighten the tightening lug up top. And I didn't lose zero in the shots that I took of it, but it wasn't cycling. And I can't believe I missed it when I was doing it. I had to get some help from some friends on Discord. As you can see, the bottom of this mount is completely scuffed up, and in fact, even the optic is. Now, the reason this is happening, and I will put up some pictures on screen, the place that the mounting bracket is located on the SR is slightly further forward compared to the fixed stock or the folding stock Type 81. This means that the red dot sits further forward, in fact, or the rail sits further forward right in front of the rear sight block. Now, on the other Type 81s, it sits further back, and you can see there's a fairly significant gap between the rear sight block and the beginning of the rail. Now, the problem is ejection. And if you take a look at the ejection pattern, which is why I was so annoyed at myself that I didn't see it before. If you take a look at the ejection pattern, it is very straight up. It is up and, I don't know, it's kind of like the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock-ish position, but like straight up. And that interferes with this mount and caused constant stovepipes, which you will see. For the brief time that I had the 4x Russian optic on it, I didn't have any malfunctions, and for some reason, I didn't pick up on it when I was out shooting this thing. So, that is something to note, and it is, in my opinion, a bit disappointing, because you can pick up these rails. They're kind of hard to find, but you can pick them up on used sites for about $150 to $200. Now, that's expensive for a mount, but in comparison to others, it's not that expensive, because if you wanted something from Sigmaco, which is they make a whole bunch of Type 81 parts, you would get a different bracket adapter and you would put an AK mount on it. But that's like bare minimum 300, 350. Tactical Imports just came out with a new rail uh, and a new mount that costs 300, or no, it's $400. So the cost of putting an optic that is not this Russian 4x is very expensive. And that is a drawback that I did not anticipate, and it kind of sucks. It further limits the use of the gun to even more of a meme gun. But that was the main negative I had, and I was getting quite frustrated. But that's not to say there are not positives about the gun. And now I'll play all the shooting footage, and we'll talk about the positives. What was it like to shoot the Type 81 when it was working? It was relatively pleasant. It is a much sharper recoil than the WK-181 or than really any other 7.62 that you can get in Canada. And the reason is it's a little bit different. The SKS, the weight of it and the ergonomics of it make the recoil feel a bit different because this is the closest we can get to an AK, even though it's short stroke, not long stroke. It produces a different recoil impulse, one that is sharper, and I did feel quite a sharp recoil impulse shooting this thing. And I don't think the muzzle device was doing anything. And to be honest, I shouldn't really expect it to. It's a long barrel. I believe, what is it, 21 inches, 20-inch barrel? With a flash hider, you're really not... There's not a lot of powder left to conceal at that on a 7.62 by 39. It's just not. It's really there for looks, again, adding to the meme gun. But it was still enjoyable to shoot. You can definitely tell the trigger is a bit crisper than a normal Type 81. It's not a huge difference. It's not like you're using a Trigger Tech or something. But it's a nice difference. The ergonomics are actually very nice. Normally, I am not a fan of guns without vertical grips. That's just a personal preference. But for some reason, it just works really well on this gun. Especially the safety. And I don't know why, but on the SR variant, the safety is more intuitive than on the fixed stock variant. On the fixed stock variant, when I had it, I felt it was much more cumbersome to flick the safety on and off because it's a 180-degree safety. And so you can buy something from Sigma Co. that makes it like a standard AR one. But I noticed on the SR, it's actually really easy, and I think that has to do with the position of your hand. Because of the Dragunov stock, the web of your hand is closer in line with the safety, such that I will show here. It is much easier to flick around with just your index. Now, putting it back on safe is more fidgety. Still not as good as an AR safety, but to flick it off, you really don't have to change your grip much. It's just your trigger finger. You don't have to take anything else off. It's just because I'm at an awkward angle right now. But it is actually very, surprisingly, an upgrade, even though not much has changed. Additionally, the scope is very nice. I mean, it's for what it is, it's very expensive, right? It's a 4x and it's $500. But it is very nice. Illumination isn't super daylight bright. I think, again, you have to be in cover or it has to be an overcast day or have a white background or something. But the reticle is really nice. I think the glass is perfectly clear. And the turret adjustment is so easy. These older scope types that have the physical turrets that move and you can see it moving is really, really nice. Now, I don't know why, Now, there are still a couple of negatives besides the optic situation. One of them being the magazine and the magwell. And forgive me for all you Type 81 purists and cosplayers and get good. It's probably true. I just need to get more experience with this. But I definitely notice I struggle more reloading the magwell on Type 81s than I do on the WK181. It is a much tighter, much more narrow magazine insertion. It's very easy to fuck up, and this is absolutely something that you can train into your manual of arms. But more so than the slight manual of arms change that I had to adapt to with my 181, this is a significant manual of arms. I think if you want to use this for any competition, or really this goes for any Type 81, any competition, you gotta be doing mag drills in your house, just trying to beat a timer or something, because it's not as smooth as it could be. The other thing is the weight. Now, again, the weight and the recoil you feel don't really line up. Considering how heavy it is, you would think the recoil would be less. But, I mean, this thing, as you see it here, is 10 pounds, 10 to 11 pounds or something like that. It is just, it's too heavy in my first shots for any practical anything. We'll see as I finish the 1,000 round review, but my initial thoughts are I can't really see anyone taking this out for any kind of hunting. I can't see anyone using this in any kind of match unless it's just for shits and giggles. I can't really see this being predator defense. Like, I guess if you just have this on your back porch and you're popping away, but I think even in that circumstance, I think there are better options. It's just it's a meme gun. Basically, my idea of what this rifle was before I started has only been solidified by the first shots. It's a really cool gun. It's just a bit of a meme gun. Now, for the rest of the review, there will be no Picatinny mount. There will be no red dot testing. There will be no 1 to 8 testing. And the reason for that is if it can't get through a magazine without stovepiping using this mount, there's no point in using this mount. So, the rest of the review, the roughly 810 rounds or so, we'll have iron sights and the 4x optic. That's it. The rest of the review will come hopefully sometime in the next month. There's no guarantee. Crownland is far right now, and I cannot get into a range until February, but I will in February. So until then, I think you might be a couple more weeks between first shots and the 1,000 round review. But that's not to say there will be no other content. I am still looking to do that video on the state of Canadian manufacturing. I have not written the script for that yet. We'll see as time goes on. I want to release it before mid-November, hopefully. No promises. But I do want to do that video. And I also forgot, I recorded all the footage for a Type 54 Tokarev video. I just haven't recorded it. I completely forgot about it in the move. I even made the thumbnail and everything. So I guess I will be recording that sometime in the next month. So you'll have a Type 54 review and a Type 81 review. But that is it for this video. Thank you for watching. Like the video if you liked it. Comment any questions you have, any experiences you have with a Type 81 SR or any other Type 81. And subscribe. Click the notification bell if you're really into these videos. And thank you for watching. Have a good day.